So college sportsmen, the first of our championship classes. And taking a look at the results from Moto 1, it is Cameron Duro, the 458, coming in with a win. Mateus Pavez and Jadon Cooper, second and third in their first motos. Peyton Morningstar, Nick Israel, fourth and fifth. And then it was Bryce Lizarega, Ethan Commodore, Kyle Epperson, Riley G. Allen, and Dakota Bender through the top 10 in Moto 1. And here we go. The revs are up. It's time to go racing. Good jump off the gate. And it's the 110, Mateus Pavez with the 100% hole shot. Look like Cameron Durao, the 458, your winner in Moto 1, right behind him, coming out of the turn. Amy's radio. Yep. Well, they've got a loop, but you want to get a racer on nose. So they're double checking. So Mateus Pavez, Cameron Durao, and Peyton Morningstar, the first three riders around that first turn, followed by Shane Hamilton and Ramon Vidal. Got a loop at the turn. She'll be there, and there's also the loop. Okay. And right now, the riders running 1 and 2, they are tied for the overall. Mateus Pavez coming in with a 2-1. Cameron Duro a 1-2. So whoever gets the better in this one, looking to grab that championship. But right now, Pavez with the 100% hole shot, trying to make the most of it. All right, so riders making their way around the Loop 270 here on lap 1. Charging back up to the top of the hill. So we're going to see who's going to get the run into the legendary Texas 12-pack here in just a moment. There's your leader over the top of Cemetery Hill into the FMF Powerwall. And there it is, the 458. Cameron Duro taking over the lead. Pavez into second. It's going to be the 24 of Dylan Lunsford moving to third. And just like that, Cameron Duro coming to a 1-1 score as they run right now. But we've still got plenty of laps to go here in the College Sportsman. So Cameron Duro, Mateus Pavez, Dylan Lunsford, Peyton Morningstar, Jadon Cooper, Nick Israel, Kyle Epperson, Brandon Mason, Jesse Wessel, and Dakota Bender. You're rounding out your top 10 here on lap number 1. So working through the second lap here in College 18-24. Hey, folks, if you haven't charged up your transponder since you got the rental transponder, pop that thing on the charge just to make sure that you've got plenty of juice to make it through the day. And that goes for folks that have their own transponder as well. Please make sure those are charged up before you head out onto the track. They will be checking those down in staging, so if you get down there, you got a dead transponder, you're going to probably have to run over to the E-Score trailer, so you're better off making sure you got a charge already. As we watch your riders making their way down to the Loop 270, Cameron Duro looking to grab a 1-1 and make himself the first champion here for the 2023 James Stewart Freestone Spring Championship, presented by Parts Unlimited and Thor, part of the American Motocross Championships. And if you're watching live on Outlaw Productions TV, you're looking at a great shot of those riders surfing that corner. And here comes the 110 of Pavez, the gas rider trying to chase down Cameron Duro into the FMF Powerwall and down the Texas 12-pack. So now the 292, Peyton Morningstar moving up to third, Jadon Cooper to fourth. So those two riders trying to push towards the front of the pack. And we have got a three-rider battle heading to the twist and shout section. Dropping down to that option turn. Pavez and Morningstar starting to duke it out for that second spot. That might let Cameron Duro get away. Coming out of the oak tree turn. Morningstar coming to the inside, trying to take the second spot away from Pavez. He's going to go inside again, and like I said, look at this. They're starting to let Duro get away as they battle for second. Cooper and Lunsford, fourth and fifth behind that battle, going down the Freestone Freeway for the lead. And it looks like Morningstar trying to use the outside to get around the 110 of Pavez. And they are fender to wheel going through that turn there. And again, Pavez trying to use those outside lines. Here he goes outside this time around. He's going to sweep it and make the pass. So the 110 of Mateus Pavez sweeps the outside to make the pass. Duro says, not so fast, my friend, as he comes right back up. They're going to go almost side by side through the 12-pack. And Duro just holding him off. Working past the halfway point here for the riders in the college sportsman. Schoolboy won next off the gate. 65-10-11 limited in staging. 65-7-8 limited in staging. And first call for 250B 12-plus riders. So Cameron Duro, Mateus Pavez, Peyton Morningstar, Jadon Cooper, Nick Israel running top five. Looks like Wessel on the move now. The 108 Husqvarna ride, mooking the move up into sixth. Epperson 7th, Dakota Bender 8th, Josh Bowman 9th, and Clayton Schmucky, the 515. Going to round out your top 10 now as we work through the laps in the college sportsman. And the 108, Jesse Wessel, rider out of New England, on the move as he was about 10th on lap 1, picking up some spots. But right now it's Mateus Pavez, the rider on the 110 with a fast lap on the track, a 2:06.5 for the rider in second, trying to challenge for the lead. And there it is, top three riders out of the Shock Sox S-turn down the Freestone Freeway. And this is where Pavez seems to pick up the pace a little bit. He seems to have some good lines as they go off that ski jump into the Loop 270, because at the end of that section, he has always been right almost alongside the leader. And last time around, he was able to slingshot that position and briefly take the lead. We'll see if he can do it again. He's got to do it because right now he's got 2-2 scores. Cameron Duro sitting on a 1-1. That's the championship unless Pavez can do something about it. So, Shand, we got a barn burner going here. Duro, Pavez, and Morningstar all in the same section of track. Pavez has made the pass. Right back by, though, goes Duro, and they're going to come through the 12-pack here. And there's the battle for the lead. There's Cameron Duro. There's Mateus Pavez. And there's Peyton Morningstar. And guess what? Got another rider joining the battle.
Yeah, let's see who that fourth-place rider is. Jadon Cooper up there in fifth. It's Nicholas Israel, Don, putting that 209 up in the fourth-place spot. So welcome to the party, Israel.
Yeah, look at that. Fast lap there, a 204. Holy cow, he's moving.
So Duro, Pavez, Morningstar, Israel. What a way to start the morning, huh, Don?
Oh, man, I'll tell you what. They have been tooth and nail right from the first lap. There's been no space between them. Right now, it looks like Duro has got the biggest gap he's had. And what is it, maybe a half a second as they come out of that Dunlop drop?
Yeah, 1.5 seconds probably, 1.5 seconds over Pavez. You got Jadon Cooper about 4 seconds behind that lead group. So you're right. There's 4 riders exiting the Shock Sox S-turn as we speak. It's Duro going into Baggett's berm, up and over the number 7 Kawasaki step up. But look at those 4 riders.
Yeah, and then you go a little gap back, and now you got another battle for 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th as they all come in. So you got kind of 2 distinct groups of riders battling here.
Sophia Phelps, Zoe Moore up here pointing out Sophia Phelps running at a solid 11th place here.
Yeah, and you know, she had a great battle yesterday in the women's class. She went at it with Kylie Stallings, and she got the better of her yesterday. And I know Phelps likes to run a lot of different classes. Give her more track time, get out there and duke it out with the riders.
Yeah, so Phelps leading Vidal, Riley Allen, Brandon Mason, Bryce Lizarraga, Connor Chandler, your top 16. Hamilton, Thierot, and Looney, as well as Riggin Smith, round out your top 20 here on lap number 5. The white flag, Don, as we can see coming out of the huddle hut, coming out.
Yeah, and Duro has just slowly edged away. He had the win in Moto 1, so looking to make a statement and be our first champion.
And Jadon Cooper has joined in. He's closed that 4-second gap. He has closed in on the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th place riders.
And Nick Israel charging from 4th to 2nd on that lap.
Unreal.
He is on the move.
Yeah,
but
Don.
yeah, Cooper in the top 5 there battling. Morningstar was almost trying to make passes for the lead. Now he's been shuffled back to 4th.
So you got 2 riders really on the move. Nicholas Israel, as you said, charges up from 4th to 2nd. Jadon Cooper still in 5th, but he closed that gap to 0.7 seconds. It was 3.5.
Yep.
So it's taken Jadon Cooper a little while to get fired up, but he's closed in on Morningstar and Pavez with Israel, a solid lap time, a 2:04. Fastest lap time for Israel, Don, and he has been besting their great lap times about 2 and 3 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, that is just really finding some speed out there. So here comes your leader back into the inside, into the Shock Sox S-turn, and he's already kind of cruised out a little bit to a 3-second gap, if you can call that cruising. But I'll tell you what, with Nick Israel on that pace, you better not sleep on him.
You got the mechanics down in the mechanics row area giving the signal to Israel. And you got to think he's probably says, good job. Keep it up, man. What
That's
a charge.
And it looked like Peyton Morningstar got a little hung up out of the Shock Sox S-turn. Cooper got around him.
So Jadon Cooper, no stranger to Freestone, moves up to 4th. Morningstar back to 5th. But, you know, what a great ride for Morningstar. You start out up front. You get past a few times. By the time the checkered waves, you're still in that top 5. That's very consistent.
Yeah, it's definitely good to watch these riders have those kind of consistent rides.
It is Cameron Duro in the championship driver's seat here with Pavez 2nd, Israel 3rd, Morningstar with this 4-4 moto scores or 4-5 moto scores now. So that's going to be a switch for Morningstar and Cooper in the championship overall class results run.
Yeah, that's gonna drop him down 1 spot. Israel, boy, by making that pass into 2nd, he made his hopes come back alive.
Yeah, unreal, Don, unreal. Checkered flag is waving for the 458 Cameron Duro. Check out that fist pump, Don.
He's happy, as well he should be. Israel across the line 2nd, Morningstar 3rd. There's Cooper, and there's the 110 of Pavez. So Mateus Pavez grabbed the 100% hole shot award. He's going to hang on to the top 5, but it's going to be Cameron Duro. The 1-1 score is going to be the first of our championships here this morning, Shand.
Yeah, 2 points. Definitely best. Israel 7 points. Look at this tie for 7 points. 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th are all tied with 7 points, but it's going to be Israel 2nd and Morningstar 3rd.
Boy, look at this on the monitor. Duro's bike is smoking as he pulled off into that area there. So he got that one done with nothing left to spare.
We're taking a look at our riders making their way down in the impound area as they'll get their frame and VIN numbers checked, and then they will send it up to the podium.
Yeah. Yeah, podium's going to be your winners, and it's going to also be your whole shot award recipient. And I know they're going to be doing the luck of the draw today, too, as well. And we'll give you a little more info about that once they finish up this podium, as it looks like we're ready to go with the Schoolboy 1. But now we're going to get ready to send it down to the podium here in just a moment. Talk to our Moto winner, and we'll let them get situated and send it down to you. So it looks like we are underway with the Schoolboy 1, the 43 of Tom Wood with the 100% hole shot. And it looks like the 708 of Canigare into the second spot. And I believe you said Landon Hart's up into third. And so we're still getting a little situated down there on the podium before we get ready to go down there.
Looks like we are getting our riders down there on the podium now, Don, so we'll send it down to Dean Diaz and Luke Navarre down on the podium.
Well, yeah, what a great start for Wood there. That's exactly what you need to do. And there we are, rolling those bikes up there. So letting them get situated down there on the podium. As I said, we want to give them just a few minutes to make sure they've got everybody ready down there. As you can see, the bikes rolling up. Wood on the gas continues to hold the lead here. Looks like Canigare in second.
And if you're watching on the Freestone YouTube channel, what you are seeing is great fog here. There's a lot of fog here at Freestone. So cloudy conditions, a lot of fog. As Thomas Wood, William Coniger, Kay Johnson up to third, Clark Robbins in fourth, Trinity Bachelor in fifth.
All right, down here with the third place finisher, Peyton Morningstar, dude. How's it feel to be up here on the box?
And I'm so excited. That was such a hard race. I was coming up to the front. I was about to pass these two, but sadly I lost my goggles. And I just knew I could not quit. I wanted this podium so bad. I knew I was going faster, but just couldn't see, so it was really hard to battle and pass through.
Yeah, I know the mist and everything definitely.
KTM South Georgia, Millsaps training facility, factory connection. This bike was handling so good out there. Miles Caradori, my mom, my dad, Thor MX Gear, Alpine Stars, 100% for keeping the vision clear as possible for as long as possible. And everyone else I forgot, thank you so much.
All right, there you have it. Get up for Peyton Morningstar, getting the job done, getting third overall. I'm going to check in with the second place skipper, Nicholas Israel. Nicholas, dude, it's all pretty much tied, but you got the best end of the stick there in that last moto. Tell me how it went.
Not the best of starts, but was like mid-pack, and then I pushed my way through. I was full charging. I was pretty close to the first place, but couldn't do it. 450s were barking. So, no, just really happy about it. I'm ready to keep going, having a good week. So,
Awesome. That's what I like to hear.
Well, I want to thank everybody, my dad and my mom especially. Thanks to them, they're on the other side of the country. Well, my trainer, my mechanic, everybody. Charlie Signs, 100%. Maxima, AEO Power Sports, Visit Designs, FMF, just everybody. Thank you so much.
All right, guys, you have a Nicholas Israel. Now the champion here, bring you up to the front. Cam Duro, getting it done, dude. How'd that moto go?
Yeah, it was really good. Got a good start and ran up front. I knew I had to get a good start to get the win and managed to stay in front the whole moto. My goggles actually fogged up on the last lap. I had to throw them off, but yeah, glad I managed to get it done with a 1-1. And just a big thanks to my sponsors back home, Red Bull, KTM South Africa, Thor, TRP, Parts Unlimited for helping me this side, and my girlfriend, my dad, and the Bircher family for helping me get here.
All right, awesome ride. I'd like to thank, so I'm going to let Mike Burkeen do the handy the number.
All right, so good job for all those riders down there on the podium. We're underway here in Schoolboy 1. Shan, it's still Tom Wood out in front. Thomas Wood would lead. Canigare, Clark Robbins second and third. Kay Johnson jumping on the big bike this year, hanging in fourth. And Trinity Bachelor rounding out the top five. Let's look at
How's
the
it feel?
overall.
All right, so
Yeah, check
Sig,
this out. Overall, 1-1 Moto score so far. So it's
there
Thomas
and-
Wood on the gas, the 43. Your championship points in the driver's seat here for the championship points with 1-1 Moto scores. Conager second,
John, what was your
Justin
name
Turner
again?
third if he
Vidal.
stays up in sixth.
You're getting it done,
He's
dude.
in
I'm proud
sixth
of you.
right now here on this
Congratulations.
lap number 3. We'll see if Justin Turner can climb that ladder. Kate Johnson fourth, Trinity Batchelor back there in fifth. And let's take you down past fifth place. In sixth right now, Don, it's Justin Turner, Adler Cottle in seventh, Landon Gordon eighth. Ninth place is Ryder Thompson, and in 10th, it's Kai Gentry with Luke Foster now in 11th, Christian Merman in 5th, or 12th. 13th place is going to be Cannon Hargrove, Gavin Batson in 14th, and Cole Timbo with that change-out yesterday, that tire change-out yesterday late afternoon. Timbo rounds out your top 15 here on lap number 3.
Yeah, boy, what a nail-biting moment that was for Timbo. All right, leader at the end of the 12-pack. And Wood just doing work. Yeah, he's walking away a little bit here. Kanigher going to have to deal with the 62 of Robbins for another few laps.
Yeah, Clark Robbins putting all kinds of pressure, Don, on Kanigher. Like a 0.8 seconds, so 0.8 of a second separating Robbins and Kanigher with Kate Johnson back there in fourth.
Yeah, Johnson kind of has his own race going on. He's got a gap in front of him, a little gap behind him, so he looks like he just needs to concentrate on his laps.
I think he knows he's only 2.5 months, 3 months into the 125, coming off the 85 and the Super Mini. So I think fourth place for Kate Johnson right now, early on this 2023 spring races. I think he should be very happy with that.
Yeah, that's a good stepping stone to jump up onto the big bike. Most of the time, it takes riders a little longer to get themselves up there. Now look at this, Luke Fauser, buried back in the field off the start. He is 10th right now. He was a winner in his division race.
Yeah, unbelievable. That tells you the talent pool. Put them all together, both those division races. You can put them together here for the second Moto, which is effectively nearly a main event almost, but it's definitely the second Moto. It's it goes to show right there. Fauser can come out and win a division, running 10th. You got Logan Morgan, Deacon Ditto, Max Shane, and Landon Gibson hovering right around the 20th spot. We need to have the following riders. Attention in the pits. The following riders, please report back up to registration. Andy Bowman, Tracy Cloy, Forrest Player, Alicia Gogol, and Dustin Jensen. Again, attention to the pits. We need to see the following riders, following people up to the Stasic registration tower. Andy Bowman, Tracy Cloy, Forrest Player, Alicia Gogol, and Dustin Jensen. You are needed up to the registration tower.
So there's leader Thomas Wood coming over the finish line jump. And he is just going to stretch his lead out now. Kanigher and Robbins continue their battle for second. Kanigher not getting away. And again, here it is. The 177 Johnson just got to run his own laps. The Blue Crew rider looking good on the 125. And if Kay Johnson looks familiar to you folks, it's because you saw him on Yamaha commercials for a couple of years there on those 65s and 85s.
Yep, you're absolutely right. Batchelor back there in fifth, just behind Johnson. Justin Turner in sixth. Landon Gordon seventh. How about Adler Cottle, man? Good to see Adler Cottle out of Moore, Oklahoma, up there in eighth position here. He had a pretty monumental get-off at the first round of the Texas Winners Series, so we're glad he is healthy and back racing here at Freestone.
Yeah, I remember you telling us about that. It really is good to see these riders bounce back from those kind of bad get-offs. And I'm looking at this. Fauser is not moving up through the field. That's a big surprise, Shan.
Yeah, you're right, Luke. Don. Sorry, I called you Luke. Don,
I've been called worse.
Yeah, you have been called worse. Yeah, you're right. I'm glad you pointed that out, Don. Luke Foster went from 11th to 10th here.
And yeah, he's running 2:10s, which is, again, well off the pace that we would expect out of the 462.
Look at our finish line flagger. We got two finish line flaggers. We've got a yellow caution flagger, Chad. He is just sitting there like a guard dog watching them exit the finish line tabletop, and that is what you want to see at a race. So hats off to Chad, doing a fantastic job. Britt Lambert clicking down the laps. Or the downside of the tabletop here. Here comes Britt Lambert, so safety feature, Don. I'm just kind of pointing out, really cool to see here.
No, and that's the thing, there was been a couple of riders that have gone down there. It's hard to see when you're coming up to that jump, and it's hard for the finish line flag or Britt to be able to do both and keep track of the race. And, yeah, that's, again, a statement of safety that they do here at Freestone. When they recognize there's something that needs to be fixed, boom, it's fixed.
Thomas Wood crunching through the Texas 12-pack into the FMF VMAX switchback. The white flag is going to wave. So the 43 is going to see the white flag here up and over the finish line tabletop. And not enough can be said about Thomas Wood. He has just looked solid, Don, all week here for the 23rd or the 13th annual. I'm thinking of the Winter Series, the 13th annual Freestone, James Stewart Freestone Spring Championship presented by Parts Unlimited and Thor. It's Thomas Wood in the driver's seat for the championship run in the Schoolboy 1 12 to 17 age group, Don.
Yeah, and Robin's able to make the pass around Kanigher, so now he's moved to second, and that's not going to move him up that much more in the overall, it doesn't look like. Luke Fauser now finally catching fire, getting up into seventh, so he's going to keep himself on the overall podium by getting to seventh, but again, very surprised to not see him farther up and battling for the win. Looking at the overall right now, Shan, Thomas Wood, William Kanigher, and Luke Fauser would be your top three overall.
Yeah, and you're right. Luke Fauser with that winning Moto 1, 7th place right now, so he's 2 points behind. Theoretically, I don't see Fauser moving up to second. He's probably going to have to settle for third, but not too bad, just not quite the second Moto that he had in the first division.
No, and especially for a rider who we know can just catch fire and walk away. I mean, we watched him do that yesterday just to be able to just gap the field.
Today it's Thomas Wood.
That's it. Every dog has his day, Shan, and it looks like today is Thomas Wood's day.
He's got an 8-second gap over Clark Robbins and William Kanigher, as well as Cade Johnson, so he deserves this win. He has pulled away from the fastest riders in the nation here in the Schoolboy 1 12 to 17 age group, Don.
Yeah, and coming off the gate next, we're going to have the 65 10 11 limited. 65 7 to 8 limited riders. You should be down in staging, as well as 250B 12 plus. So there is the 43, Thomas Wood, up and over the FMF Powerwall, and one more trip through the 12-pack. And that is going to be the checkered flag, the race win, and the championship for the 43. That's right. He has got a big fist bump there for the Gas rider. Looking very happy as well. He should be. Clark Robin, Will Kanigher across the line, second and third. There's Cade Johnson, fourth. And Trinity Batchelor will hang on to fifth. Looks like Fauser able to get one more pass made to move to sixth, but I don't think that's going to change the overall. No, it does not. Yep. He needed a few more points than that to make any difference. So looking at the overall, Thomas Wood, William Kanigher, and Luke Fauser, 1, 2, and 3 in the overall picture. Wood with the 100% hole shot. And it looks like we're getting ready to go here with the 65 10 11 limited. All right, here we go. 65 10 11 limited riders off the gate.
It was Easton Graves winning the first Moto, Don. Easton Graves, Jackson Vick second, Austin Killer third in Moto 1, Chase Brennan in fourth. It's going to be Chase Brennan with the 100% hole shot award. Number 3, grabbing that hole shot award, Chase Brennan out of Winchester, California.
Yeah, he comes in with a fourth place finish in the first Moto, so that's the way you want to start it out. Get yourself right out in front of everybody. So underway here with the riders in the 65cc 1011. Chase Brennan with the early lead. Riders out of the Leonard Skinner Oak Tree turn.
So it was Chase Brennan, Jackson Vick, Easton Graves, Dylan Graham, and James Gomez, your top 5 out of the gate here in the 65cc 10 to 11. We're going to send it down to the podium to Dean Diaz.
All right, finishing up third overall. He wasn't too excited about it, but dude, it's got to feel good to be up here on the box. Tell me how it went.
Yeah, it was all right. I came off the gate and just spun, and it's flat track. There's nowhere to get around. Everybody's running the same speed.
Not about it, man. It makes it tough for sure, but hey, you got some more motos out here, don't you?
Yeah.
We're going to make it happen?
Yep.
We're going to help you make it happen.
My mom, my dad, KTM Orange Brigade, Daniel and Maddie. 100% Troy Designs, Christian from Alpine Star, Tamer, PR2, Mitten, Lynx for the good motors, Dunlop, Cernix, Pro Taper, my mom, my dad, Uncle Mark, Jeff Wheaton for hauling our trailer, yeah.
All right, guys, give it up for Luke Fowler for getting it done. Now let's walk over here to second place. Finish making it happen. Will Kennegawa, how's it feel?
Pretty good. Been working pretty hard for this, so. Yeah, for sure. Sitting second and third in the other 2 classes, so hopefully we can get it. My mom, my dad, the whole SLBMX crew, Adept, Fox, MX Tire, and everybody else back home that's watching me and supporting me. Thank you.
Will Kennegawa. We'll give it up for Thomas Wood. Get it done. You got the whole shot award and everything, man. How'd that moto go?
Yeah, it went. Everything just went to plan. Had so much fun out there. My gas, Lynx, FMF, Dunlop got me off to a great start. Yeah, when I got the whole shot, I was so pumped because I knew that the track was kind of flat, and it would have been hard to pass. So I put pressure on myself to get the start, and I got it done. I was super pumped, and yeah, just had so much fun out there.
Awesome job. Congratulations. Now we're bringing over Mr. Mike Burkeen so he can hand you the hardware. Wait, hold on. Who else would you like to thank? You still thank a lot of people, but I know you got some more people in your corner.
Oh, yeah, I thank Gas, Troy Designs, Monster, Lynx, Dunlop, FMF, 100%, Alpine Stars, my mom, my dad, Maddie, Daniel, everybody in my corner. Thank you so much.
There you go. Now hold that number 1 loud and proud. We'll put them champagne bottles and get the party started. Podium.
All righty, big smiles down there on the victory podium. They're about to spray some champagne. And we're underway with the 65, 10, 11. Shand Easton Graves on the 31 taking over the lead. It was Chase Brennan with a 100% hole shot. But it looks like Graves, Jackson Vick, Austin Keller, Brayton Craiglow, and Cole Whitaker now your top 5.
Yeah, Don, and Jackson Vick has to get around Easton Graves if he wants to secure the championship. He has to do that moto reversal flip here in the second moto, but I don't know that it's going to happen. Easton Graves has just been on fire. The 31 has looked solid all week.
Yeah, and he had to make a few passes on that first lap, and now he's got a 2-second gap last time over the finish, and we'll see. He comes through the 12-pack. No, he's not getting away too much.
No, you're right. Jackson Vick is applying the pressure on Graves. He's not necessarily applying immediate pressure, but he's there to capitalize on any goofy mistake that Graves may have. But as you know, at this level, these kids don't make mistakes very often.
No, it's a few and far between. But you know what? He's doing the right thing by putting himself right where he can take advantage. And look at the gap back to third. So really, it's a 2-rider breakaway in the battle for the overall.
Yeah, young Austin Keller, the 213 on the KTM back there in third, Don. But a solid third-place ride, but 10, 11 seconds off the pace of Graves and Vick. You got Craiglow back there in fourth, the 29 on the Yamaha. And we should be seeing the 33, Braylon Harden moves up to fifth. That's going to put Colt Whitaker back in sixth.
And, you know, these are young riders, but look at the overall right now, because yesterday, 1, 2, and 3, Easton Graves, Jackson Vick, Austin Keller, that's exactly how they finished yesterday.
Don, I'm going to go back to what I always say. Sometimes the numbers do not lie. It is what it is. You're the fastest dude, or you're the second fastest dude of the event, or the third fastest, and that is exactly the case right here between Graves, Vick, and Keller. Graves is going to have to make a slight mistake for Jackson Vick to capitalize on, because he's matching his pace.
Oh!
And Jackson Vick makes a mistake going to the Shock Socks S-turn, and he is moving. So he laid there for a second. He is moving.
Oh, good to see him back up, though. Yeah, he just knifed that front end. And that high side, boy, it looked painful. So he's up and running. He's facing the wrong way, though. He's going to have to turn that bike around. There he goes. And he'll get going just ahead of the third-place rider. So able to get on and just stay ahead of third place Austin Keller, but that is going to give Easton Graves a big gap.
And Jackson Vick's handlebars are either bent or they're going to be bent. He could not get out of the shock socks S turn straight, so I believe his front rim and tire is going to be bent. Don, there you go, okay. Or brake,
Yeah.
Maybe the front brake was locked up.
It looked like they did the classic, let me give that front wheel a quick kick to knock it back in line.
Yes.
Because you're right, it looked like he was sort of dragging the front brake.
It's still not correct. He's trying to. Now he's going to get back on the track. He's only lost about 5. The great news is he's only lost about 4 or 5 positions, or maybe 6 positions, probably.
Well, that's great news for Easton Graves.
He only lost 2 positions, J.P. Parsons telling me. So that's what you get when you got a 15-second lead over third place. So.
Yep, so he may keep himself in the second spot on the overall podium. We'll have to take a look as they make their way through. But Easton Graves right now has opened up a big gap. So the 31 of Easton Graves now going to walk away. He has just got to keep it up on 2 wheels, and he is going to have a championship in his hand. So I'm sure next time he goes by the mechanics here, they're going to let him know, hey, back it down. All you got to do is finish the race because he's going to have about a 20-second gap.
Yeah, don't think backwards is what they're going to tell him.
So Keller does make the pass to second. Craig Lowe takes over third, and we should be seeing Jackson Vick come around here shortly. There's the 70. Yeah, the front end of that bike still looks a little twisted up, so he's making the most of it, doing what he can.
Yeah, that is extremely hard to do, get around a track when your front end is tweaked on. It is not fun.
No, and it gets in your head, too. You start thinking about, oh, is this going to be okay when I jump?
But here's the thing. Jackson Vick, even though he crashed in the shock socks S turn, he is running in 4th position right now. So 2 guys got by him. He is settling in for 3rd on the championship run. And while that's not where he wants to be, that's incredible knowing that he hit the deck and for about 6 seconds he did not move. We thought we were going to take a medic cart out there, and all of a sudden the little kids sprung back to life, Don, as they always do.
They're like Gumby. They're made out of cartilage. There's no solid bone in them at this point. They just hop up like nothing happened. So you or I would still be laying there right now.
Exactly. Here is your top 21 rundown. It's Graves, Keller, Krieglu, Vick, Whitaker, Harden, Olberg, Steinbrecher, Wiles, and Graham in top 10. Dylan Graham rounds out your top 10. And in 11th, it's Brody Bircher, Chase Brennan in 12th, Bryant Rollins in 13th. 14th is going to be Landon Lee, Craven Earl back in 15th position, Gabriel Ducosin in 16th, Dax Wiles in 17th, Connor Vargas 18th. 19th position is going to be Race Matson. Rounding out your top 20 is James Gomez with the 21st position rider out on the track right now, Daxton Gibbs.
And, boy, hats off to all these riders. I don't care if you're first or 21st. It's a very tough race course to deal with, a lot of competition from all over the country, all over the world, and really great to see these young riders able to rise to the occasion. But right now, the 31 up and over the FMF Powerwall, and it's going to be the white flag coming out for Easton Graves.
Just a convincing pair of Moto wins here for Easton Graves, the 65, 10-11. White flag is going to wave here, Don, and, man, give it up to Easton Graves. I talked about it. He did not make mistakes.
Yep, that's really been the key. He's the rider out there who has just kept himself moving forward, no mistakes, and he's been able to capitalize on other folks having them.
Jackson Vick was matching the pace, but, you know, as I was saying just before Jackson went down, matching the pace is one thing. Charging up and actually making a pass is a whole nother level here, and Easton Graves deserves this win, Don.
Yeah, absolutely. So there is Keller and Craiglow, second and third.
And Craiglow has closed in on Keller to literally 1.1 seconds. So Craiglow has closed in on Austin Keller for the battle for second, but these guys are 30 seconds past Easton Graves. There's the 234 Colt Whitaker. Jackson Vick still in fourth. So Vick, Don, running fourth right now, just ahead of Colt Whitaker, is still holding down a solid third place for the podium, the last position on the podium.
You know, that's sort of going to be a little bit of a consolation for after going down. You're still going to be on the podium. You wanted second. I'm sure you really wanted first. But you're going to stay on the podium, take it as a learning experience, move on to the next race.
Jackson Vick having an incredible last 2 years of racing. If you rewinded the clock, he's probably 11 years old now. He's about to age out of this age group. But if you rewinded the clock, Jackson Vick on 50s in the early 60 years, he was not a front runner. He was just a mid-pack motorcycle racer, but not a front runner. So he's had a really good success the last couple of years, and he's going to get rewarded with third place ride here, barring any unforeseen crazy circumstance here on the last lap, Don.
Which, of course, can happen at any point in time.
As it did earlier.
Yeah, we're going to say for Jackson Vick, it definitely got a little crazy and unexpected. So the 31 going to head down the Bud Moore throttle section, making his way into the shot team cramp sweeper. So here we go, the 31, the KTM ride of Easton Graves. Up and over the FMF Powerwall Shan, one more run through the 12-pack.
That is it. We're going to see either a hill clicker, a no-footer, a fist pump. Easton Graves has got to be ecstatic for this championship run here by way of 1-1 Moto scores. A checkered flag comes out. It's Easton Graves, and he just checks up and chills out, smooth and calm.
Well,
there it is right there, little helmet pump.
You know, what he actually did, I think, was slow up so he wouldn't lap those riders and take a lap away from him. That's a classy move for a young rider.
Sure.
You see that sometimes on the bigger bikes, but he checked up and let those guys have another lap. All right, you guys finish your race. I'm going to take mine. Here we go, the battle for second. Craig Lowe making the pass to second on the final lap.
Wow.
So Keller will drop down to third.
So let's see what this does,
And
Don, on the
there's
championship
Jackson Vick
run.
fourth.
I think with Craig Lowe finishing 10th, I don't think that's going to help his cause here.
No,
That's
he's not going to
12
move
points.
up enough.
Nope, not quite enough. So we should see Keller in second. And barring any unforeseen crazy circumstance, we should see Jackson Vick hit that final in third place podium position. Not too bad for going down.
No. He's going to hold on to that fourth spot. So, yeah, he gets the third spot in the overall podium. So, Easton Graves, Austin Keller, and Jackson Vick, your top three overall. After Chase Brennan, the number 3, grabbing the 100% hole shot. He's finishing out his race in 9th, but going to grab that 100% hole shot award. That always feels good. We're underway now, it looks like, with the 65 7-8 limited.
It is Beckham Smith out front out of Canyon, Texas, leading the second moto, the 65 7-8, grabbing that 100% goggles hole shot award. So Beckham Smith, no real big surprise there, Don.
No, he was the winner in Moto 1, so like you said, Shan, not a big surprise to see Beckham with that 100% hole shot and lead him around here.
In second, Moto 1, it was Talon Henson, Zabinik in third. Fourth place was going to be Welsen. Fifth place was going to be Hall. Jacob Mariner in sixth. Hey, his dad came over to our party last night and had a couple
Hey, there you go.
Coors Lights. Carter Holm in seventh. Eighth place, Levi Letty. Ninth place, Tyler Hinton. And in 10th, it was Yumina Burning out of Pleasanton, California. The 141 rounded out your top 10 in Moto number 1, Don.
There you go. Nice to see the top 10. We'll see if they kind of all stay up there towards the front of the pack.
We're about to send it down to Dean Diaz here in just a couple of minutes. But right now, if you're watching this on the Freestone YouTube channel, you're seeing race number 4, the 65 7-8 limited class. And you've got Beckham Smith out of Canyon, Texas, with the 100% hole shot award and leading this pack of riders here in the 65 7-8, Don.
Yeah, there you go. So I love me some 65cc class podiums, and we're going to send it down to you, Dean.
On top of the second place. Yeah, down.
Oh yeah, 7-Eleven. Yeah.
That's
Mom, Dad, Flight Racing USA, BT's Welding, Yenser.
give it up for Austin Keller, our champion of the class, number 31, Easton, dude. Getting it done out there. How'd it feel?
Good. I got a great start. After that, I think I hit someone on the start. After that, I got around him in the second corner, pushed after that, Jackson crashed, and then after that, I just brought it on in. Nice and safe.
You brought it on home, right? Nice and safe?
Yep.
Who helped you get here?
My mom, my dad, my brother, my sister. Jesus Christ, keep me safe. Rides Unlimited, Rocky Mountain ATV MC7, Bell Scott, Buka, Alpine Star, T-Rex, Pro Taper, Thrill Seekers, Dunlop, Course Paintings, Source MX, Moto Sandbox, Cal Cheeseman, Tyler Bowers, or not, Ryan Sipes, the whole Moto Sandbox crew, all my friends and family, everyone else that helps me. Thank you so much.
All right, guys, give it to Easton Grizz. Let Mike Burkeen hand you over that. I get these bottles. Guys. Come. Whenever you're ready. Brendan. I don't get that. You don't get the champagne. How's it feel to get out there and get that whole shot?
Good. I fell in the second corner and I was ripping the whole time and I felt good, but I crashed 2 times and I don't know what place I got though.
Yeah, it makes it difficult. We'll check that poster. We'll see what place you got. Tell me who you'd like to thank.
Mom, Dad, 60, Asterix.
All right, guys, give up for Chase Britton. I'll take this one here and give you the real one.
All right, well, thank you very much, Dean. We're underway here with the 65 7-8 limited riders. Beckham Smith had the 100% hole shot for the 65 7-8. It looks like he's sitting in the second spot right now. Gavin Welson taking the lead. Kenan Zabanek into third. Levi Letty fourth. And Absha Hall rounding out the top 5. Followed by Jake Mariner, Liam Levering 6th and 7th. Taylor Hinton in 8th. Carter Holmes 9th. And Cooper Langdon, the number 2 ride, rounding out the top 10 first time around. And there is the 141 making his way through. As you see him down there on the podium here, big smiles down there. And what you're seeing also is what's known as the luck of the draw. You see that rider on the end with that golden ticket. If you're a champion at this race, you get to go down to James Stewart's personal compound, ride his track for a day, hang out with James and Malcolm and the whole crew down there. And now we know that not every rider is always going to be able to get the championship, and we want to make sure, and James especially wants to make sure, that some of the other young riders get to come down there and enjoy the day. So the golden ticket that you see there, that is a rider who we are going to draw at random. The luck of the draw will give you that ticket to go to James's house and have that ride day, spend some time with James and the whole Stewart family down there. And we just want to send a big shout out to the Stewart family, James and Malcolm both, and as well as their dad, mom, the whole family down there. You know, Big James, Sonia, we love the fact that they want to have as many young kids out there as they can. That's what the luck of the draw is. So when you see those riders on the podium, they didn't get the top 3, they didn't get the championship, but they've got that golden ticket, and the luck of the draw will send them down to James's house. So Gavin Wells and Beckham Smith, Kenan Zabanek, your top 3 here. And looking at the overall, Beckham Smith with a win yesterday, a second place right now, still holds him the top spot in the podium as Welson was 4th in Moto 1. So a win here will give him the second spot on the podium. And Zabanek, 3-3 scores, consistency gives him that final step, but we still got laps to run. So 65cc 7-8 limited out on the track. 250B 12 plus is going to be next off the gate. 85 9 to 12, you should be in staging. 250C Junior 12 to 16 limited, you should be in staging as well. And we need riders in the 50cc 4 to 6 limited and 7 to 8 limited down in the pre-staging area. And we're about 1 hour away from the vet riders practice. Vet riders, 9 o'clock is your practice session, so about 8:45 you're going to want to head to staging. And there is the battle for the lead. There's the 132 of Welson dropping down the hill. So Beckham Smith staying in touch with the leader, but not close enough to challenge for a pass right at this point. So we'll see if he's able to do that. And your leader going to make his way out of the twist and shout section there is the 132. So Gavin Welsen continuing to run out front. There's the number 3 of Beckham Smith. And again, Smith just needs to keep himself in second place. He doesn't need to pass the leader to be the overall winner. And there's Zabanek, the number 5, hanging on to that third spot in the Moto, as well as the third spot in the overall picture. So championship Saturday well underway here at the 2023 James Stewart Freestone Spring Championship presented by Parts Unlimited in 4, part of the American Motocross Championship Series. So Gavin Welsen, Beckham Smith, Cannon Zabanek, Levi Letty, Absher Hall still running top 5 in the Moto. Jake Mariner, 6th. Talon Hinson, 7th. Tyler Hinton is 8th. Yeah, it looks like Carter Holmes going to move up into the 9th spot in the overall, as Welsen and Smith continuing to run out front here. There's your leader on the 132. And there is your second place rider. And your rider holding the top spot on the overall podium, Beckham Smith. And if you're watching live online, you can see a little bit of a foggy day here to start off the race day at Freestone County Raceway. But you know what? This is perfect weather for racing. Nice and cool. It'll keep the moisture down in the dirt. So, Shan, this is not a bad way to have your weather out here at Freestone.
Yeah, a little fog might be an understatement. It's pretty foggy here, Don.
Well, you know, compared to London, say.
Yes, the London fog. Don, bring me up to speed here. I'm just getting back into the Lynn Nickerson Suite high atop the Stasic Tower. So what do we have here? It looks like Welsen, Smith, and Zabanek, your usual suspects, 1, 2, and 3 out on the track. And in the championship points run, you got to throw Beckham Smith up there with 1-2 moto scores, and I guess where it hurts Welsen is his 4th place finish in Division 1.
Yeah, that's the only thing keeping him from the top step of the podium, that 4th place. We're on the white flag lap, though, as there is Gavin Welsen. There's Smith, and Smith is just kind of pacing him. He's not doing anything crazy. He knows where he is. He knows he doesn't have to worry too much about anybody messing up his championship run.
A real veteran move for a 7-year-old.
The crafty 7-year-old veteran.
That's right.
And, you know, here's the thing. We joke about that, but this kid's been racing for probably 10 years already.
Sure.
That's right. I just did a reverse there. He's been racing since before he was born.
Yeah, he was racing
But
2 years
seriously,
before he was actually born.
He's been racing since he was 4, so he's got 3-4 years under his belt. So, yeah, he is a vet.
And he, he's instructed, obviously, from his team, his dad, his mechanic, his mom, ride smart. You got a potential championship run here.
Yeah, and that's one of those things where we say, look, you're right there in second. Hey, if the opportunity presents itself, of course you're going to try to make a pass for the win. But there's no reason to do that and put yourself on the ground. So he's riding a smart race here with the white flag out.
So Luke Navarre, Don, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Luke Navarre telling us Welsen pulled off on the white flag. Made a mistake, got back on.
So that's what happened there.
So that means we have a new leader, I'm suspecting.
Yeah, looks like it's going to be, if Welsen pulled off, Beckham Smith would have gone around. That would give him a 1-1 score.
And I wonder if Zabanek got around Welsen as well. Luke did not tell me how far up the exit chute, but he did pull off.
All right,
so
well,
we'll see.
And, you know, it's those little lapses in concentration that can happen sometimes at this level. You see a flag waving, you're thinking, okay, the race is over. And, again, we would never give anybody a hard time about that because we've watched pro riders, and I'll use this example again. Washougal, Kevin Windham, a veteran, pulled off on the white flag. So, yeah, it can happen to anybody.
It can, and it usually does sometimes. And we just talked about these wily veterans at 7 years old.
We jinxed him, Shan.
Announcer's jinx. We were talking about Jackson Vick. He went down in the shock socks S turn, the announcer's jinx. So we're just going to go silent for the next 8 hours, and everybody will win championships, Don.
Every parent out there is like, stop talking about my kid.
That's right. They want their kid talked about, but then again, they're like, no, better not.
Well, maybe not. But yeah, we're watching for, it looks like it'll be probably Beckham Smith who we will see first through the 12-pack. Yeah, it is. So there's Beckham Smith. He is going to get the win. Looks like Wellsine just is going to lose one spot in the race. Oh, look at that. You can see his head down there. He is not happy about that. But I don't think that's going to change the overall picture at all because Smith now going to go 1-1. Wellsine will go 4-2. So, yeah, he's going to still stay in second in the overall picture. And we're waiting for Zabanik.
Yeah,
if the number 5 can keep that consistent 3-3, he's going to hang on to third in the overall podium.
Don, you're right. Wellsine's slight mistake was not going to be a big factor here in the overall championship points run as Beckham Smith 1-1 Moto scores Zabanik 3-3 for 6 points. So incredible Moto there for the 65-7-8 limited class.
Yeah, and there's the number 5. So it is going to be Zabanik hanging on to third. Sounds like we're fired up on the gate for the 250B. We're going to let the 65cc riders get situated a little bit before we send it down there to talk to our top 3. But we've got the 250B riders. So Beckham Smith, Gavin Wellsine, Cannon Zabanik, Levi Letty, Absher Hall, top 5 in the moto. Beckham Smith, Gavin Wellsine, Cannon Zabanik, Talon Hinson, and Absher Hall look like they're going to be top 5 in the overall as well. So very consistent rides here in the 65 7-8.
Yeah, Don, you are absolutely right. Wellsine set the fastest lap time of a 2:31. A solid second-place championship run here for the 13th running of the James Stewart Freestone Spring Championship. Don, you're absolutely right. Wellsine with the fastest lap time of a 2:31. Just good enough for a 4-2 moto scores for a second place running here. Second place podium spot for the 13th annual running of the Freestone, James Stewart Freestone Spring Championship presented by Parts Unlimited and Thor.
Yeah, getting our riders situated on the podium there. I'm sure they're all down there under the impound tent, high-fiving, doing a little race review of their own down there under the podium tent. And, yeah, like I say, we'll get those guys situated while we wait for the 250B riders to get ready to fire down the start straight. Once again, don't forget, vet riders, your practice is going to be at 9 a.m. Vet riders, 9 a.m. is your practice, so you got about a half an hour before you need to be in staging for that. And it looks like 250B going to take a sight lap. So 250B going to get a sight lap here. So it is indeed a sight lap here for the riders in the 250B. So we'll let them get a look at the track, and we're going to be ready in just a minute to send it down to the victory podium. And Dean Dye is going to be down there with our top 3 overall in the 65 7-8. Dean, we'll send it to you.
All right, I'm down here first. Cannon Zabanik, dude, getting it done. Last spot in the box. How's it feel?
Good.
Do you know you're going to get up here in the podium today?
No.
No, but you worked hard, didn't you?
Yes.
You made it happen. How's the track?
Good.
It's good. Did you get a good start?
Yeah.
Who helped you get a good start? Who'd you like to thank?
Mom and Dad, Dunlop, Mitten, UG Underground Compound, Papaya, Mitten, Rose, Cobra, VP Racing, Pro Taper, Skull Candy, 7, Bell, 100%, Roost, PR2, Kinetic, and that's it.
Awesome. How do you say your last name again? All right, guys, get up for Cannon Zabanik getting third overall. Now we'll have your second place competitor. Dude, how'd that go?
It went good. I got a good start. I was in second. I passed Beckham for the lead, and then I just kept pushing. And then on the third lap, I thought I saw the white flag, and it wasn't. So
I'd be happy with. I know it's a little misty out there. Probably got a little confusing, but hey, tell me who you'd like to thank. Who helped you get the second overall? For Gavin Wellesley, we get second overall. Now I'm going to go over here with little Beckham. Beckham, dude. Number 3 got the first hole shot, and you just continued the trend, got another hole shot, huh? Got that hole shot award?
Oh, yeah.
How'd that motor go?
It went good. I got a good start. Gavin came and passed me around the S-turns. Then I just kept on pushing until I went to the checkered.
Dude, you made it happen. You got it done. You're the champion. How's it feel?
It feels good.
All right, man. Who helped you get here? Who'd you like to thank?
My mom and dad, Jesus Christ for keeping me safe, Orange Brigade, KTM, Dunlop Elite, Game Moto, PR2, Motor X, Lynx, T-Rex, Pro Teeper, Fox, and everybody else. Thank you. And my little brother, Bryson.
All right, and with Mike Burkini gave me that number 1 plate, I'm going to hand this over to you. Hand the hardware. That's what really matters. Give it up for Beckham Smith. Also, bring up my lucky draw man, Holmes.
All right, there you go. Some very happy young riders down there on the podium.
Holmes, dude.
So thanks, Dean, down there on the podium, getting those top 3 riders as well as the luck of the draw rider. Well, we got the 250B 12 plus on the gate here. They had to qualify to get in. Jace Allred and Drew Adams won their qualifiers. Liam Olaf and Christian Janik were second in theirs. And Casey Cochran and Landon Peppard were third in their qualifying motos. So we're going to get a chance to see here and put them all on the gate together. See who is going to make it to that first turn ahead of the pack here. Grab the 100% hole shot, because in this stacked field, it is going to be more important than ever to get that hole shot and get away out front. All right, the 2 card is up here for the riders in the 250B. We'll wait for that to turn around. There it goes to the one side. That card is going to go sideways. The revs will hit the limiter, and we'll be ready to go racing here in the 250B. Gate is down. Let's follow the land rush down to the first turn. And it looks like it's going to be the 37, Landon Peppard, the gas rider with the 100% hole shot. So the 37, looks like Janik up in the mix as well. So it looks like it was the 2-7, Christian Janik, actually, our mistake there. Had a little misread on the transponder. So Christian Janik, the 27 Monster Energy Team Green Ride, is going to grab the 100% hole shot. And he's got the lead going into the Shock Sox S-turn.
As for your leader, into the Blake Baggett berm, Don. Hits the number 7 Kawasaki step up. He'll make that 118-degree turn down the number 8 downhill ski jump and loop 270.
Yeah, JP Janik doing himself a big favor getting that 100% hole shot because he's got a pack of riders going to try and chase him down. And here we go into that big sweeping left-hander through the trees.
A little bit smoother than yesterday's last motos.
Yeah, looking smooth right now, but it ain't going to stay that way for long, JP.
It's the building process is going on right now. Of course, for your riding and racing pleasure, riders.
Yeah, it's fairly pleasurable right now, but it ain't going to stay that way. So here we go, charging up the hill. There's Cochran, it looks like, into the second spot. So Janik holding the lead, and it does look like it's going to be Cochran hanging out of the second spot.
And your leaders coming through the VMAX switchback. Cochran goes to the outside, inside, takes over the lead through the James Stewart ski jump. Janik right behind him.
Yeah, it looked like Cochran had that fast outside line right after the finish there. So he's able to hold off the 27.
You know, that's what's so cool about the VMAX switchback. It's got that option. It's slowed down the track. And, of course, options for passing.
Yeah, and Cochran making the right line choice there as he was just about side by side with Janik, and he came away with the advantage. So it's Casey Cochran, Christian Janik, Noah Stevens, Casey Bernard, and Gavin Betts running top 5. Brendan Schofield, Dakota Benda, Landon Peppard, Drew Adams, and Enzo Temmerman through the top 10. So the 66 of Casey Cochran, a third in Moto 1. Right now, Janik sitting on a 2-2, so that all adds up to 4, but the better finish here would go to the 66, and that would give him the overall. You see the mechanics holding up the pit boards there as they go by down the Freestone Freeway. And I don't know how they read going that fast, JP.
There's got to be a system.
That's it.
Like yesterday, I saw one of the mechanics with the pit board pounding on the pit board. I guess it means turn up the gas, crank it on harder.
That's it, just using the visual cues there.
Yeah, because, man, you're going down that Freestone Freeway at who knows what speed, as fast as you can go through the bumps, and it's not like clear vision.
No, that's got to be really tough to see.
Right now, it's clear vision for the 66. Casey Cochran, CC rider.
Yeah, charging up to the top of Cemetery Hill. I think it's that roller downhill, right? And there's Cochran over the shocks or the FMF Powerwall. Just inching away a little bit. He was very close at the finish last time. He's going to have about a 1.5 second gap now.
Noah Stevens running in the third slot. And actually 2.45. So about 2.5 seconds, Christian Janik behind your leader, Casey Cochran, as they go through the twist and shout section of Freestone Raceway.
Yeah, he opened up a little more of a gap than I expected, so he's getting away from Janik. And look at that, a 2:04.9. That is 3 seconds faster than Janik that time around, JP.
Wow.
So Casey Cochran working into the Dunlop drop. Just slowly trying to inch away from the 27 of Janik.
So Cochran on his 66 Rockstar Husqvarna. And behind him is Team Green, Monster Energies, Kristen Janik.
Yeah, you see his mechanic got the towel waving there, trying to urge him on. Close the gap. And we still have a pack of riders working through 6th place through about 15th, coming through the Shock Sox S-turn. So running down the order, Casey Cochran, Christian Janik, Noah Stevens, Casey Bernard, and Landon Peppard, top 5. Drew Adams in 6th. Gavin Betts, Brendan Schofield, 7th and 8th. And it's Dakota Benda and Dylan Blecker rounding out your top 10 as we watch the 66 drop down the hill to the Bud Moore Throttles section.
Cochran once again over the FMF Powerwall into the Texas 12-pack. Making it like Interstate 45, smooth in the groove.
Yeah, he's getting away. He's going to open that gap up even a little bit more as he is just continuing to inch away from Christian Janik.
Yeah, with almost a 4-second lead. So gained about a second and a half on that lap. Noah Stevens in the third slot, followed by Casey Bernard, Landon Peppard, and Drew Adams, Gavin Betts. I better wait till I see more. And we want to thank all our online viewers and listeners for tuning in to the Freestone YouTube channel, brought to you by Area 51 Films and Outlaw Productions TV.
Yeah, if you couldn't make it out here, you'd be treated to some great views as their camera crew doing a great job following these riders around. We got drones, we got cameras on the ground. I think they got a little bit of a groundhog out there running around with a camera strapped to it, KP.
Yeah, you know, families, if your friends and family couldn't get here, make sure and call them and tell them to tune in. You can go to the Freestone MX website or just go to the YouTube channel and go to Freestone.
Yeah, lots of ways you can follow the action.
It's almost like being here.
Just about as good, but you know what? If you really want to get the experience, you got to come on out here to Texas.
You got to feel it, and you got to absorb it.
I absolutely agree, JP. So battle for the lead going to make its way down through the big Loop 270. We're going to watch the 66 of Cochran working that sweeping left-hand turn. Janik still trying to close the gap. There's Cochran coming into the view at the top of the hill. And yeah, he's getting away, JP. He's walking away from Christian Janik. Noah Stevens and Casey Bernard still battling third and fourth. Adams going to close up on that, though. He's less than a second off the back tire of Bernard, so Drew Adams going to join the party.
So Drew Adams with a 206.7, but right now Casey Cochran still running in the 204 section, and we'll give you an update as he comes over the finish line tabletop through the James Stewart ski jump, and followed by Monster Energy Team Greens, number 27, Christian Janik.
And yeah, on lap one, they were almost side by side over the finish, and now Casey's got a 5.5 second gap. So he is just laying down. And again, another fast lap. Last time around, a 2:03.9 for Cochran. That's the quick rider on the track right there.
And Drew Adams moving up into third. So we got a Husqvarna, then two Kawasaki's, Yamaha, and two gases in the top six.
And got to tell you, Nick Israel on the 2:09 was lights out fast in the College Sportsman, but struggling to get into the top 10 here, as his lap times in this one way off where he was earlier in the day. So Israel, if I believe he laid down a 2:06 at one point in that College Sportsman. So having to deal with the traffic here, that changes up the game considerably. That's it.
You know, some of the riders that did a little bit better yesterday are having a little bit more trouble today, like Trace Colin Allen.
Look at Jace Allred. He was the winner in his division. He's back in 13th in this one.
Well, it's all about the start.
Yeah, he definitely did not get the start he was looking for because, yeah, he's buried back there in the pack. And this is a tough field to kind of march through, too. You're not going to be able to just walk by people. Looks like the 39 there having a little bit of trouble getting out of that section. No trouble for the 66. Casey Cochran on his way up and over the FMF power wall. And looks like he's going to come out of the finish line hut with the crossed sticks there. So we're at the halfway point, folks. Halfway point in the 250B.
Boy, he kind of lifts his wheel up and then doubles, and then into the VMAX switchback. And there's second place, 27 of Christian Janik.
Yeah, and Cochran's going to put another couple seconds on Janik. Now it's out to almost 8 seconds separating Cochran from Christian Janik. Drew Adams on the charge up into third, so the 300 going to work, but got going a little bit late.
Noah Stevens in fourth, about 6 seconds behind, dropping back. Landon Pepper 2 seconds behind Casey Bernard.
So there's Cochran into the shock socks S-turn. JP looking good out front.
Giving a wave to Kevin Kelly out there in the infield.
That's it. Taking a hand off the bars, just giving a little salute to him. Janik reaching up to clear the vision over that jump there as he comes through.
And Cochran going down to number 8 downhill ski jump into loop 270, the Suzuki sweeper. Making it look easy, but it is not.
Yeah. Well, it might be easy for him. I don't think it'd be easy for most folks, that's for sure.
Well, hopefully he's out there having some fun, and that's, part of it. Always remember, man, we started riding dirt bikes to have fun, and that's why we're here at Freestone Raceway for the 13th annual James Stewart Spring Championship, brought to you by Parts Unlimited, Thor,
Absolutely.
and Rocky Mountain ATV.
Hey, folks, don't forget, coming up later in the day, the award ceremonies at the Pavilion. That'll be 1 hour after the last moto, so they'll be handing out all of the top 10 championship awards at the Pavilion. That'll be 1 hour at the end of the day, but hey, we got a lot of time between then and now to crown those champions.
So it looks like on the next lap, Casey Cochran just over the finish line tabletop, and we're getting close to that white flag coming out.
Yeah, and you can now see that Cochran's starting to work through some of the lap traffic as his lap time dropping down to a 2:06. That's exactly where Janik is as well. But the gap is 7.3 seconds, and Janik is going to have to find some speed if he wants to chase down the Husqvarna ride of Casey Cochran. Looking back through the field, Cochran, Janik 1 and 2, Adams still in third. Casey Bernard, Landon Peppard now fourth and fifth. Dylan Bleck is sixth. Gavin Betts, Aiden Kiefer seventh and eighth. Jace Allred ninth. And Brendan Schofield, the 409, going to round out the top 10 here as we work through the laps in the 250B. So it looks like the top three starting to separate out a bit from them on the field there. Cochran with a 7-second gap over Janik. Janik has got about a 7-second gap over Drew Adams in third, so not going to see any tight battling at the front of the pack yet.
It looks like it's kind of leveled out a little bit between Cochran and Janik, with both running about a 2:06, and then Casey Cochran with the fast lap time on lap 4 with a 2:03.9.
Yeah, that's getting after it. That is absolutely flying, that 2:03 lap time. Yeah, it looks like right now the battle for fourth, Casey Bernard, Landon Peppard, that's really the closest battle on the track. So we'll try to pick that up as they make their way around.
It looks like Peppard running about 2 seconds faster than Bernard on the last lap.
So there's Drew Adams, the 300 over the finish line jump. Let's follow this battle. It should be Bernard and Peppard coming through the 12-pack next. And it looks like Landon Peppard going to make that pass on the 77, so he does get it done. So that'll put him to fourth. That'll drop the 77 of Bernard down to fifth. And it looks like, looking at the overall right now, Casey Cochran sitting on a 3-1, Janik a 2-2, and Drew Adams a 1-3. So they've all got 4, but the better finish in the final moto going to give the top step of the podium to Casey Cochran. So look at that. Shin and JP, they've got all top 3 riders are tied right now for points.
Israel banging with Kiefer there, okay? And Israel's goggles are off, it looks like.
Yeah, and we've got battles all the way down through the 10th. Shan just pointing out Aiden Kiefer, Nick Israel going at it, and one of those riders, no more goggles, so that could start to play a factor.
Boy, this is a double indemnity, because not only could you get dirt in your eyes, the moisture of the fog being out there you could get some moisture, just little droplets of
Well,
anything.
right, like it's like if you're riding a street bike at night there, you get that moisture flying in your face. You'll be blind after about a mile.
So, guys, make sure you got your tear-off set up right, or if you're using the roll-off system. That's one of the worst things to do is take off those goggles.
Oh, yeah. I always tell riders, whatever you got to do, leave those goggles on. Oh, it looks like both Israel and Kiefer no longer have the goggles. So that battle for ninth going to be a battle for the vision as well.
I was just thinking that, Don. Who can
Yeah.
see? I can see. And there's second place right there over the finish line, tabletop, the 27, Monster Energy Team Green, Kristen Janik.
You know, I always felt like that was one of the advantages I had with my son when he was racing. He couldn't take his goggles off because he had an insert so he could see. He needed prescription glasses. So if he took the goggles off, he couldn't really see that well. So he had to leave them on.
That's just crazy. I've never seen two riders. Israel's thrown his goggles off, and Kiefer has them on his arm.
Well, you know, now that you mention that, Shan, it looked like Kiefer was the rider who had him on his arm, and he had the roll-off film flapping behind him. So he might have had a malfunction and just decided it's better to take them off and not have that around my head. So there's Blecker, there's Betts, there is Allred, there's Israel. He's got him on his arm, and he's going to get the better of it as Kiefer's going to drop down. Yeah, there's the 47. So both of those riders, no goggles, and it looks like it's going to be Israel who is going to take advantage there and move into the ninth. Well, you know, this is the thing. I have talked to riders who say they would prefer the rain rather than these foggy conditions because the fog just sticks on the lens and it just kind of never clears away. So it could be the case with either of those riders.
It seems like with the roll-off system that we had a lot of malfunctions like yesterday and today with the streaming roll-off.
Well, you know, you take a little bit of a rock or a little bit of dirt to the side of that canister, it can knock it off there or just knock the top off, and then the next thing you know, you got a 4th of July streamer hanging behind you. Yeah, there you go.
So Cochran negotiating his way through traffic as he goes over the finish line tabletop one more time. We should be getting close to that white flag.
Yeah, we're seeing more and more riders as they go through with those goggles on their arm or off. So the fog may be playing a factor there. And JP, we talked about it before. If you don't have clear vision, it's going to be very tough to push forward.
I have enough of a problem just, walking around.
So I was going to say, I'm so slow I can stop and just use a squeegee on my goggles. It's not a problem for me. Just pull into the Phillips 66 and ask them to fill it up and clean the goggles. So Casey Cochran working through that lap traffic there as you watch the 66 negotiating through some of the back markers. This is where it can get a little sticky.
Yeah, it still could be anybody's ball game at the top three between Cochran, Janik, and Adams.
Yeah, 3-1 for Casey, 2-2 for Christian, and 1-3 for Drew. They all add up to 4, but the better finish here is going to add up to the championship.
Yeah, Cochran, Chad, like you just said, he is way out front for this 250B 12 plus, 12 years and older.
And at this point, he just needs to manage the race, work through that traffic. He's got a comfortable gap, so you know what I mean? No, don't lose your mind. Don't do anything too stupid. That would be following my example.
Trace Holland working on it, up into 9th place right now. Gavin Betts in 8th. Allred up to 7th. Dylan Bleck 6th. Casey Bernard 5th. Peppard in 4th. And, of course, our top 3, Cochran out front, Janik, and then Adams.
Yeah, and here comes Cochran. Going to come up over the top of Cemetery Hill. And launch in the FMF Powerwall. White flag is flying. Casey Cochran, as he flies over the finish line, And you saw him reach up there. He still looks like he's got tear-offs on there, so he's got the clear vision. That's going to make the difference as the laps wear down.
So once again, make sure you have a technician that can apply your tear-offs or roll-off system properly so they can endure the grueling conditions of racing.
And hey, 100% in the house here, sponsoring those 100% Whole Shot Awards. Get over there, say hi, and say, hey, man, hook me up with some safe systems so I can see what I'm doing out there. So there's Casey Cochran working his way into the Shock Socks S turn.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, out in the pits, Porta John people are on property. They'll be going up and down the aisles. So if you need them, just flag them down. And have a nice day.
You'll have a much nicer day after they stop by, that's for sure.
That crossed my mind after I just said this.
So Casey Cochran working the final lap here. Big sweeping left-hand turn. Looking at the 66 Rockstar Husqvarna rider. So working his way around some of the lap traffic there. Going to drop back down the hill. You saw that rider looking over. Yeah, okay, let me get out of the way here.
Yep. There's OCC rider. I better move over.
And he's lapping into the top 20. That's Brad Williams. He just went around, your 20th place rider. And here we go. One more time, JP, up and over the FMF power wall.
Kind of taking it a little bit easy, cruising in for the win through the VMAX switchback. The Husqvarna Rockstar Energy rider, Casey Cochran, takes the win with a great arm pump. And
he is.
I think he's excited.
A little bit happy, looking a little bit happy, that's for sure.
I'm excited for him, and of course, I know Mom's excited. Of course, she's excitable anyway.
Vet riders, you need to be down in staging for your practice session. Once again, vet riders, you need to be down in staging to get set to go for your practice. So Casey Cochran, Christian Janik, and we're looking for the 300 of Drew Adams. That'll be your top three here in the Moto. And that will be your top three in the overall picture. Janik with the 100% Whole Shot Award. He's going to hang on to second. But right now, it is all about the 66, the Rockstar Energy Ride, Casey Cochran. And, you know, the ironic thing is I was having a little chat with Cochran's team before the Moto, and they told me that sometimes he's not as comfortable on these high-speed tracks. Well, you look pretty comfortable there, and locking down that fast lap time as well, the 2:03.9. So 85, 9 to 12 riders next off the gate. There they go down the start straight.
So it looks like it's going to be Tace Morgan out of Claremont, Florida with the 100% Goggle Whole Shot Award, the 810 on the KTM. Tace Morgan with the whole shot, leading the rest of the field here in this 85cc 9 to 12 on the very opening seconds of the opening lap here.
Yeah, and they had to qualify to get here, and he was second in his qualifier. Darren Pine and Nolan Ford were winners in theirs. Wyatt Duff and Tace Morgan second. Maddox Temmerman and Gage Brown were third in their qualifiers. So Morgan starting this one out right, Shand?
Yeah, exactly where he wants to be, especially coming with a second in that division, as you alluded to a few seconds ago, Don Collins. We'll see if Tace Morgan can keep this bike upright and in check and keep everybody else at bay. As their front runners, Morgan and the rest of the field here, looks like it's probably going to be Darren Pine time, the 58, exiting the Shock Socks S turn. It is. So it's Morgan and Pine. Pine winning his division, and as Don alluded to, Tace Morgan finished second in his division.
Yeah, so I'm sure Morgan would like to get the better of Darren Pine in this one, but, you know, you've said it. I agree. We've heard it all week long. Darren Pine is tough to beat here at Freestone.
You got Elliott Bosher, Braxton Mess, Forrest Sagante, Ryder Ellis, Jackson Vick, Maverick Gish, Sawyer Geek, Dane Peppers, Colt Martin, and many others. Those are your top 10 here in each division. And we're about to send it down here. Check out the podium. It's Cochran. Man, what a solid ride for Cochran here, Don Collins.
Yeah, you know what? He's only been on that four-stroke, the 250F, for a short amount of time. Was talking to his dad like December of last year was when he really got on the the four-stroke. He'd been riding 125 for a really long time, so he's looking real comfortable, starting to come around with that speed, and Casey Cochran showing why he's on that Rockstar Husky ride. Looks like it's going to be time to send it down to the podium, and Dean Dias with our Moto winners.
All right, I heard you guys this time. I got the third place overall finisher, Drew Adams, up here with me. Just getting the hat adjusted. Got to look fresh out here. Feeling fresh, looking fresh. Drew Adams, dude, getting the job done. How's it feel?
Yeah, I just got off to a pretty bad start and got pushed off on the first lap. Back and made my ways up, but Casey and Christian were gone. They were riding really good, but yeah, we're gonna give it to them the next moto.
That's like to hear. Who's helping you out? Who's gonna get that next moto to you?
I'd like to thank my mom, dad, Jesus for keeping everybody safe. Monster Energy, Team Green, Kawasaki, Pro Circuit, Fox, and everybody else that supports me. A huge thanks to.
All right, guys, get up for Drew Adams for getting her done. Make my way over here. And also getting a 100% hole shot award, man. How's it feel?
Yeah, track is good.
Take another step up.
But hopefully we will.
All right, well, get. And that whole shot award. Champ, man, making it happen. You're looking good, feeling fresh out there. How'd it go?
Yeah, the start was crucial again this morning because the track's not fully broken in yet, but we got off to a great jump and made some passes early and just kept riding how I know how to ride, and it finally comes through and shows off. So I'm happy to be up here.
I'm happy to see you up here, man. You've been working hard. Tell me who's been helping you out.
Thank my mom, my dad, Lord Jesus Christ, to keep me safe out there. The whole Rockstar Energy Husqvarna factory racing team for getting this bike dialed in and helping me come out here and get these wins. Alden Baker, Mike Brown at the Baker factory, those guys have been putting in the work with me and getting me ready for these spring championships. So Fly Racing, Vision Wheel, and everyone out there who supports me, I really appreciate each and every one of you guys.
Awesome job out there. I'm going to bring over Mike Burking with that #1 plate. That's what matters. As we bring our lucky dog on up here. Trace Hall, the luck of the draw, man.
Yeah, I'm pumped. The whole track today, I thought it was going to be a little bit more wet, but the track crew did great. And yeah, I'm happy with it. I'm excited to go. Lord above for keeping me safe. My mom, my dad, my sister, HB Motoco, Liat, Bill's Pipes, Gut Seats, Mika Metals, Bill's Pipes, and just everybody else. Thank you so much.
All right, that's Chase. Did you guys pop that shit?
Okay, back to race action here, the 85, 9-12, and Don Collins, since we left the podium, Darren Pinetime has moved around Tace Morgan, Wyatt Duff in third, Ryder Ellis in fourth, Nolan Ford in fifth, Forrest Sagante in sixth, Braxton Mees in seventh, Gage Dunham out of Golden, Colorado there in eighth, ninth place Brody Moss, and get down Gage Brown, your top 10 here on lap number 3. It is Darren Pinetime with 1-1 moto scores. Barring any unforeseen crazy circumstance, he's in first place right now. He is in the championship driver's seat here with Tace Morgan, 2-2 moto scores. Wyatt Duff, 2-3. Nolan Ford, 1-5. So Ford winging division, but only can best fifth right now midway through this 85cc 9-12 age group, Don.
You know, early on, Darren Pine and Tace Morgan were just about side by side. The gap over the finish last time, less than a half a second, but now Pine's starting to move away. I noticed he has probably opened up about a 2-second gap as he went into the James Stewart, the Kawasaki step up there. So, yeah, he's starting to do work. Like we were saying earlier, it's going to be tough to beat Darren Pine here at Freestone as he's logged a lot of laps and knows exactly the way he needs to get around this course.
Yeah, he has raced here just about nearly every single time Freestone has ever opened over the course of the last 10 years. He's won a Bell Golden Helmet Award here throughout the Texas Winter Series, so he definitely knows his way around the track.
Yeah, and that's the thing, too. It's like, somebody who puts that much time on the track, it's not just that you know the lines. It's just that you feel like you're at home. He feels comfortable. He knows he can just ride as fast as he can. This is his place.
Tace Morgan, a solid second-place ride, but he is about, I would say, 5 seconds off of Pine's pace here, 5 seconds behind pace.
Yeah, and I mean, Darren Pine, a 2:20 that time around. That's the separator, 4 seconds quicker than Morgan. And Wyatt Duff able to put in a pretty quick one, but again, he's another 5 seconds back of Morgan.
So just outside your top 10 here on lap number 4, it's going to be Colt Martin in 11th, Kylan Bells in 12th, 13th place is going to be Elliott Boucher, Christian Humphreys in 14th, Brock Worcester in 15th, 16th place is going to be Maverick Gish, Jackson Vick back there in 17th place, Jackson Bailey in 18th, 19th place is going to be Emmett Baker, and Cole Trinkle will be back in 20th position here on lap number 4.
Cole Trickle? What?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Trinkle.
Yeah.
Trinkle.
I had to double look at that and register. That was a movie.
I was going to say. Can drive right through it, Cole.
That's right. Our Bees Moto Lab, Darren Pine time out front, and he is starting to really separate from Tace Morgan. This is that home field advantage, I'm going to say.
Well, again, it can come down to just that mental feeling that, you know what, I'm strong here every single time. This is my house. No one's going to beat me here. Kind of like that the John Dowd Southwick thing. You know every way around, but not only do you know the track, you know in your head that's your place.
And it was Don, the 810 of Tace Morgan, getting that hole shot, so Darren Pine had to make a pass and make it quick. You don't want to give a kid like Tace Morgan a lot to chew off and lead you around the track for a lap. You want to make that pass immediate, and that's exactly what Darren Pine time did.
Yeah, and to credit to Morgan, it took him a full lap to do it because they were just about side by side over the finish. But, yeah, Pine just went to work and continues to knock down the fast laps here.
So in your championship run, Don, it's Pine, Morgan, and Duff. If the checkered flag waved right now with Ford and Ryder Ellis rounding at your top 5 here. And don't forget the awards ceremony tonight, this evening at the Pavilion, 1 hour after the final moto of the day. Again, the awards ceremony at the Pavilion. And don't forget, we got vet practice underway. Vet practice coming up here. You vet riders should be down in staging. All vet riders, please make your way down to staging for your practice.
Yeah, but if they're vets, do they really need to practice? They should just get out there and race. Yeah. Come on, you guys are old. You've already been here a million times.
They're going to be exhausted by the time they practice. They're going to wish for Sunday motos.
That's it. Don't be wearing yourself out that early in the day there, guys.
Nolan Ford coming across here, the 44, looking pretty solid in 5th. It's Braxton Mess in 6th. Gage Dunham moves up to 7th. Forrest Zaganti back to 8th. Get down, Gage Brown slides up to 9th position, and it's Colt Martin rounding out your top 10 here on lap number 5.
And don't forget, coming up, we're going to have sight laps for classes 8 through 15. So the next 7 classes after the 250C Junior, those will do sight laps for races 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. And the vet riders, the 35-plus and 50-plus, your first moto is going to be right after the 50cc 7 to 8 limited. So a lot of information to pay attention to out there, folks. Make sure you are tuned in. You can do 88.3 on your FM dial if you're here at Freestone. That way you can keep track of what's going on if you're inside the RV. And, of course, all the live audio and video on FreestoneMX.com, as well as the Freestone YouTube channel for the live streaming.
I don't know if people realize the organized chaos that goes on to put on something. As you got the production TV, the Outlaw Productions TV crew up here. You've got 5 announcers staffed up. You've got all the flaggers, about 35 radio sets between all the staff members. You got 3 AMA officials here, Don. It's just incredible, the amount of work, all the staff, just everybody that makes this thing go off for 5 full days of race action.
You mean you just don't open the gate and let everybody in and just start dropping some guys? That's not all there is to it? Really?
Yeah, it's not just a race here.
Kind of looks easy to me. I don't know. I just walk in and start talking. It's pretty simple.
Yeah. JP's like, no, that was the 70s, man. You just show up and
that's
race.
Right. I'm sorry, yeah. Well, you know what they say. If you remember the 70s, you really weren't there.
That's right.
That's it. That's it. You can tell. JP can tell us race results from 70. Doesn't know where he was yesterday.
Exactly. All the important things in JP's life: motocross and beer.
That's it. Got to have your priorities, folks. So Darren Pine, right now, the priority to him is getting that championship, and he is doing work. He's got about an 11.5-second gap over Morgan. Wyatt Duff, the 444 in the 3rd spot, and Ryder Ellis trying to charge up and challenge him. But you got Nolan Ford, the 44, dropping back a little. Gage Dunham going to pick up that 5th place spot.
Yeah, Dunham, Ford, and Mess. Braxton Meese, literally 1 second separates Dunham, Ford, and Meese. They came over the finish line tabletop all pretty much side by side, or in tow, single file line, I should say. So Nolan Ford looks like getting kind of crossed up over the FMF VMAX switchback, and that's why he lost a couple of positions. Got our scouter J.P. Parsons up here helping out.
Yeah, they got that wall built up sort of separating the switch lane there where you've got inside or outside you can select from. And, yeah, if you overcook that turn a little, that gives you a little bit of a single jump to use.
Sure. Well, we built that wall up for this event because at the Winter Series round, a couple of riders were coming through and purposely jumping out of the wall.
Yeah, just straight across.
Just straight across for a straight line to the finish line tabletop. So purpose built up, but Nolan Ford losing a couple of positions from getting crossed up into that area. And it's Darren Pine, Don, on his way here as the white flag has been waving. We're going to see Darren Pine any minute to the checkers, and it'll be Pine time down on the podium.
Yeah, he's about a half a lap to go here.
Yes, sir. Tace Morgan, a solid ride for Tace Morgan, the 810. Unfortunately for Tace, he's just could not match the pace of Pine time. He's about 13 seconds behind Pine, but a solid effort for Tace Morgan. 2-2 Moto scores, barring any unforeseen crazy circumstance. And there is your champion, your class champion, the 85 9-12 Don. That's going to be Darren Pine time with 1-1 Moto scores. Pretty convincing for Darren Pine. We'll see him on the podium here in just a few minutes. Let's keep an eye here on Wyatt Duff and Tace Morgan. Tace Morgan, the 810. It's Wyatt Duff, the 444. And check it out, Ryder Ellis pushing Duff all the way to the checkered here, Don.
You give him another half a lap, he'd have had a pass into 3rd, but not going to change the overall. As you had Darren Pine going to get a 1-1. That's enough for a big number 1 plate. Tace Morgan with a 100% hole shot, hanging on for 2nd overall. And Wyatt Duff 3rd.
With Gage Dunham come across your top 5. So good ride by the Golden, Colorado resident, Gage Dunham. Bike number 5 is going to finish in 5th place. Sometimes the numbers don't lie, Don.
There you go, number 5 in 5th.
That's right.
You know, if folks could just do that every single time, that would be very, very helpful. But there isn't a 44th place or a 810th place for Tace Morgan. So
that's right.
That whole theory is just not going to work out for us, Shand.
Nope, not at all. It's wishful thinking. So here is your top 20 rundown. It's Pine, Morgan, Duff, Ellis, and Dunham in 5th. Ford, Meese, Zaganti, Martin, Moss, Brown, Gish, Vick, Bosher, and Humphreys in 15th. And just outside your top 15 through the 20th is Worcester, Geek, Pappas, Schuff, and Jackson Bailey rounds out your top 20, Don, here in the 85 9-12 action.
There you go. Looks like we got the vet riders on their practice laps now. So the vet rider practice session heading out onto the track. So waiting for them to get situated down there on the podium. The vet riders heading out for their practice laps as they're going to be slotted into the program today and tomorrow.
And Don, a couple of these vet rider classes some of these vet riders will be seeing literally in 2 more motos as they plus 35 and plus 50 class will run immediately following race number 9.
Yep, so those riders are going to get practice in and get right back down to the gate.
Just what they needed. No water break, no goggle break, no cigarette break.
Man, it's tough.
It's tough being a vet racer.
See that? Racing is hard.
Yeah. We are waiting on our riders here, Pine, Morgan, and Wyatt Duff, to make their way to the podium, or we'll send it down to Dean Diaz and Luke Navarre. But I know Darren Pine's got to be ecstatic. The whole Pine family. It's Pine time down on the podium. Another podium for the Pine family.
So getting them situated down there on the podium, as you see. And again, we got the vet riders out for their practice session right now. And hey, if you folks can hear us down there in the podium area, if you see that camera right in front of the podium, don't stand in front of it.
Cannon Hargrove, move to your left. Cannon Hargrove, you are in the way of the camera. Cannon Hargrove, move out of the way of the camera. There you go. Thank you, Cannon.
Yeah, that big thing on the stand right in front of the podium, that's a camera. Your head does not look that great in front of the camera. But looks like we're going to get those riders situated down there. So we'll give him a moment, but it's going to be time to talk to him down there with Dean Diaz down on the podium. Dean, we are going to send it down to you, sir.
All right, down here with the Wyatt Duff, man. Got that final step of the podium. How's it feel?
Feels pretty good. I was going for the middle one, but yeah, it feels good.
Yeah, we can settle for third, right? Hey, how'd that moto go for you?
It was pretty good. I just, I didn't get the best start, but I just broke.
Congratulations, man. Am I going to see you up here again?
Yeah, definitely.
Who's going to help you get up here?
Thank you so much for my mom, dad, my brother, and everybody getting me here. Thank you to the Lord for keeping me safe. Motorsports, Fox, Oakley, Pro Circuit, Tyler Rattray, my trainer, Roost Graphics, and Dunlop Tires. And wait, Power Band Suspension.
All right, guys, go your third place finisher, Wyatt Duff. Now I'm going to go to the whole shot, man. Got that whole shot, making it happen.
Good. I had a good jump, and I was like, I can't let up going into that first corner.
Hold on a little bit longer, right?
Yeah.
How'd the moto go for you?
Good. Darren got me at the first, and then I got him back, and then he kind of pulled away after that, but I was just trying to run my own race.
That's what's...
My mom, dad, brother, and my sister, Lechai, Renthal, Fox, Dunlop, II, Den Construction, Mo Sandbox, Renthal, 180 Graphics, and everybody else. Thank you so much.
All right. Tell you some more. Fine, dude. Getting the job done. How does it feel?
Be up here.
It looks really good being up here, too. You got a 58 right here at the top step. Is that awesome?
Oh, yeah.
How'd it go?
Pretty good. I got a second place start, and then I think I made the pass like second lap, and it was just really good.
No doubt about it. Lights out. Don't look back. Tell me who's getting you here. Who's helping you out?
My mom, my dad, TTMX, Van Martin, Bees Moto Lab, Brandon from Bees Moto Lab, John from JM Racing, Mika Metals, Troy Lee Design, 100%, HB Motoco, Advanced Plumbing, Blazing Gun Dogs, and anyone else. Thank you.
Awesome, guys. Give it Darren. Bring in Mike Burkeen from AMA so you handy that number 1.
So what you are watching right now is the vet practice. We are finally letting our vet riders come out to play. We are letting our vets practice. We're finally letting the vets come out to play. Luke Navarre and Dean Diaz doing a great job down on the podium. Check out Pine Time. Tace Morgan having a great time down the podium, shaking up that alcohol-free champagne. And, of course, you got J.P. Parsons, the mouth of the South, Shan Garcia, and Don Collings, the voice of New England motocross, up there in the Lynn Nickerson suite high atop the Stasic Tower. And Don and JP, we're letting the vet riders come out for their practice, and we'll have the 35 and plus 50 class racing after Moto 9. So these guys are literally going to get about a 10, 15-minute practice session. They're going to go back. They're going to huff and puff, sit in their lawn chair, wonder why they signed up to race, take their boots off, and then have to go right back down to staging, Don.
Well, you know what, though? It might be good not to let those muscles tighten up there. Just keep everything kind of loose and limber. They go back and sit down, everything stiffens up. You're not going to be able to stand up again, and you're better off just keeping moving, boys.
That's if these vets can even become loose and limber, Don.
There you go.
And
Look at the big smiles down there on the podium. Always good to see these riders having a good time down there. A little spray on the champagne. Dad's going to fall off the front of the podium.
And I love Greg Albertson with Game Moto. Greg Albertson, motocross experience. I like his approach to racing. He is up here in the Lynn Nickerson suite, sitting in a lawn chair.
Yeah, there you go. A lot less chance to get injured.
He's drinking a coffee. He's just sitting over there checking out the Texas Burn Book. I love his approach. They are still celebrating down there on the podium as they should, man. What a fantastic race there between Morgan and Pine and the 444, the 810. Hey, guys, just to be mindful, if you're standing down there to the podium, please do not stand in front of the Outlaw Productions TV film camera. Please make sure you are not directly in front of the podium, or we will call you out as long as your name is on the back of the jersey. Much love for Hargrove. Cannon Hargrove, we love you, buddy. We're just messing with you, just trying to get you out of the way there for a few seconds.
So vet riders doing their practice laps here.
There's our boy, the 549, Kyle Dangler with FMF Exhaust.
That's it. Shake and bake, Kyle Dangler.
JP, what do you want to talk about, my man?
Kyle Dangler, what a dad. He drives 5 hours down to Bernie, Texas, west of San Antonio off Interstate 10, does a 180, and drives another 5 hours to come back here to Freestone for the 13th annual James Stewart Spring Championship. What an Iron Man and a great supporter of the sport.
And you know what, JP? Here's the funny thing about that. I went back to the hotel last night, and I'm walking across the parking lot.
He saw you at Pizza Hut.
And Kyle Dangler starts, and someone's yelling, "Hey, Don." Hey, I'm like, who in the heck knows me in the middle of Mahia?
Yep.
Oh, it's Kyle.
He made a pizza run for his family, and JP and I got a couple slices of pizza last night. So, yeah, Kyle Dangler here doing the FMF trackside support, trackside support for FMF Exhaust. And as JP alluded to, man, he left midday yesterday, drove all the way to Bernie, Texas, and then drove back, got here yesterday evening. So, and as you said, he told us, he smiled. He goes, you know, I kind of spooked Don. He was walking through the parking lot. And
I didn't know who was yelling my name. I'm like, all right, well, I don't know anybody down here, do I?
Jacob Hayes, Cole Shondeck, Forrest Player, Ozzie Barbary, Dustin Jensen, Tracy Cloy, Chris Kiefer, Adam Miller, Andrew Valdez, Sean Miller, Zach Conover, Kyle Dangler, Rob Manning, Nick McBride, John Tascos, Bill Lloyd, Don Bichelia, Joseph Granado, and Kevin Kozad has joined the mix here. That are some of the names here. Jeff Morris and Christopher Cook join us here in the vet practice. We'll be seeing a couple of vet motos coming up here later on today. The plus 35 and plus 50 will be gated together, and the plus 25 and plus 45 will be gated together. Probably double gate drops, I would assume.
There's definitely going to be a double gate for the vets, as we'll be able to separate them out pretty quickly, keep them all together.
So they have patiently waited, Don, for the past 3 days, and now we'll get some vet classes mixed in here into the race order. They will go after race number 9. The plus 25 and plus 45 will go after race number 16. And then the second moto, the 35 and 50, will go after race 30. And the 25 and 45 second moto will go after race number 35. Effectively, they will be the final moto of the event. Because we also, don't forget, we've got a 10 o'clock start time here for the 250A Pro Sport. So 10 o'clock start time for the 250A Pro Sport and 1 o'clock start time for the Open A Pro Sport. And out of the gate, Don, we go with the 250C Junior 12 to 16 limited class. Don, it was Paliganos in winning his division, as well as Ryder Rodriguez winning a division. And in second place in both divisions was Ethan Waddell and Ryder Simon. It was Walker Alfano and Lawrence Lashway, both placing third in their respective divisions, Don.
Yeah, and Lashway, like I said, one of those New England riders I see all the time up north, came out here for the first time. Looks like Logan Hale, the 17 Husqvarna, going to grab the 100% hole shot. So Logan Hale finishing out in 14th in the division race, but Logan getting a great jump off the gate here with the 100% hole shot.
Don, JP, you want to get Richard?
All right, it's time for the riders in the 250A Pro Sport. Wake it up and shake it up, crew. It's time to get ready to head down to staging. So the 250A Pro Sport, that's going to be the first Pro Moto today. Wake it up and shake it up, kids. It's time to get ready to head to staging.
Don, you know as well as I do here in the 250C classes, all C classes, the results can be all over the board. And you got the 17, Logan Hill, grabbing the whole shot out of Kentucky. He is leading this one. So let's see where Logan Hill can finish up here by the time laps 4 and 5 roll around.
What would a 15-1 give you in this one? That's that's an interesting score there.
Yeah, about
So,
16
yeah, we're
points.
gonna have to let the e-score folks do the math for us on the championship.
Yeah, that could be, as JP points out, that could be second or third place in this class, possibly.
Well, right now it looks like the first place only going to be good enough for 7th for Logan Hale if he hangs on there. But that's because Ryder Simon with a 2-4 looking like as they came across the start. But again, that's just the start right there that we're looking at. So Hale, Ethan Burns, Maddox Brown, Ryder Simon, Walker Alfano, the first 5 riders around that start. But Logan Hale grabbing the 100% hole shot.
Yeah, and Ethan Burns looking really solid here. He's in second position right now. He finished 9th.
Well, here they come to the end of the 12-pack. Let's get a look at where they're running now. It is the 17 of Logan Hale holding the lead.
Jamison Bowers, the 54, there in second position, Don.
Yeah, this one's all over the map right now, Shan.
Bowers finished Moto 1 in 7th position. So Ryder Simon now moves up into the points tally. And here's how crazy this is. We talked about the inconsistency. The points tally starts with 6 points, 8 points, 9 points. There is no 1, 2, 3, or 4 points, Don.
Nope. No, if you're waiting for a 1-1 in the 250C, you might be waiting a long time. So, yeah, Logan Hale, Jamison Bowers, Ethan Burns, Ryder Simon, Maddox Brown, top 5. Walker Alfano, Kyle Paleologos in the 7th spot. Steve Bishop is 8th. Blake Mills rounding out the top 9 with Ethan Waddell. Full throttle Waddle rounding out your top 10.
Don, and look at 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th, all going down to the Dunlop drop all together. It's Logan Hale. He's got about a 3-second breathing room, and then the dogfight for 2nd through 6th position. The Kawasaki Ethan Burns trying to put pressure on Bowers.
And Bowers actually has made the move into the lead. The 54 got around.